It is a beautiful day here in Eagle. And you know what? Today is well, I don't know if you'd say it's a special day. I guess you could say it's a special day. Today, a master gardener is going to come and walk my property with me. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, with the term master gardener gardeners, they really know their stuff about gardens. That's why they call them master gardeners. So this woman from this woman from Boise, I think it's the Boise State Horticulture Department. I think she's the head of the department. She's going to come out and walk my property with me. And I got to tell you that this was kind of one of the things. I bought this home here in Eagle, and I was all excited about different aspects of owning the home, but I didn't really think that I was going to get so interested, maybe is the word, in the landscaping and what have you. So my project over these past several weeks, for that matter, has been getting the front beds arranged or prepared, I should say, and I'm still working on it. I'm going to be maybe I'm going to do like an annual flower bed in this part of the yard here. But the individual that's going to come and walk the property with me, I'm just hoping to get some information from her on some of the, for example, what kind of tree is this? Do I water it? Do I trim it? What do I do, if anything, for this tree? What are these? Is this a weed or what is that? And then and I think here comes here comes Ron. Okay, there's Ron. Those of you probably remember Ron. Ron was the gentleman that he sold me a lawnmower, and this guy, he's not a master gardener, but he knows his stuff when it comes to fixing various machinery and lawns. Look at this. It's the one and only. It's the one and only Ron. How are you?
Damn near perfect.
You're damn near perfect,
yes,
huh?
Sir.
Okay, you're on camera. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
It's been a little while since you've been here.
It has
right?
been.
So look at the lawn. What's your first impression?
Very dang good.
Does it look
Pretty
okay?
Good.
Huh?
Yours looks better than the common area.
Well, I'm working on the common areas. But
you couldn't let that clover be.
Look at what I've done up here. Doesn't that look like it's just waiting for... Do you have pink flamingos?
I do not.
You do not? Okay.
No.
Well, if you want to borrow them sometime, you could. Okay. But no, this came out...
Looks awesome.
This came out beautiful, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Now I'm thinking, what I'm thinking here, Ron, is doing like an annual... I'm thinking ahead. Is what I'm thinking.
Some more color.
Yeah, like in the the next spring, just making this a vibrant flower bed. And maybe doing that every year. Just a different flower bed. Yeah. But you see, I've been moving the sprinklers out.
Yeah.
So that sprinkler was back over there.
Was it inside?
It was inside, as was that one. That one was inside.
You're getting to be quite the sprinkler guy.
You think so?
Yes, sir.
This one was well inside there. Mm-hmm. And so was this one here. And there is the
there's the drain. Is that the one that...
No, it's not a drain, just an overflow. Oh, yeah, it's a drain. And then look at the back. Mm-hmm.
Looking good.
Not bad, huh?
No.
I'm working on the clover, Red Rover, let, Ronnie come over, something like that.
Well, once in a while, clover can be a little hard to get rid of.
Yeah,
stay after it.
You just got to stay after it and be persistent. And then, of course, the garden.
Garden's looking awesome.
Doesn't that look nice?
It's wonderful.
Ron, what's the other thing I'm going to do? You got a good imagination.
Yeah.
Come back over here for a moment.
Okay.
Okay. Come on back over here. And look out at this fence. Okay. Now this fence, imagine taking this fence and moving the fence, a good 12 to 15 feet that way. So it's right on the corner of the house. Now
Okay.
imagine, so if you come out here, okay, if you come out here and imagine that fence line coming up right to here,
Okay.
okay, right to here, okay. Now all of this area is in my backyard. Imagine a nice little orchard,
You could do that.
you know. I
do
mean,
that.
you could probably put in a fair amount of small, you know, fruit trees, apricot, pear, cherry, you know.
You should think about against the fence,
Uh-huh.
espalier apple trees. That
Okay.
way you could get 3 varieties of apples
Okay.
on each tree, and they're flat against. They grow
Ah.
flat against the fence.
You see why I pay you the big bucks?
I know.
Huh?
I know.
You see how
I
I
know.
pay you the big bucks? But no, that's just a you know, that's a project for another day. But no, so the master gardener is supposed to be here at about 1 o'clock,
Okay.
and I just want her to walk the property with me and share any expertise she may have about what's growing here on the property. But look at the patch jobs. This was all patched. You see?
Yeah.
You can see areas, for example, right there. You can see areas where I patched, okay?
A little low, but not bad.
But it's coming in, it's filling in, you know. Over here I did some, well, I can't even tell where I did a big patch right over here somewhere, you know. But this whole area here,
Looking good.
you know, there's a patch right, you're stepping on it.
Looking really good.
But not bad, huh, Ronnie?
Not bad at all.
Now if I could
There's a
just
lot
figure
back
out how to
here.
make this bird pole stand straight up, you know. But no, and this area here is yeah, don't even try, I'll figure it out. But anyway, just interesting. It's quite the project.
You almost need a shim.
You probably get compliments all the time on your legs, don't you? Look at those. Look at that definition. Oh, just really good definition there, Ron.
Yeah.
You know? But no, so I've even thought about running a cable from my neighbor's tree,
Uh-huh.
running a cable across, and maybe hanging the bird feeders from the cable,
Could do that.
you know, or something along those lines.
This,
But
I think, is just the fact that you've got so much weight,
I've tried, Ron. I've tried distributing the weight.
so much weight there
Yeah.
that it's almost like you need some sort of a shim
Yeah.
right here.
That'll be a project for another day. So anyway,
You know,
folks.
you could probably drive some rebar
Yeah.
right up against this
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Yeah, and then just stake it. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Because at that point, you know, unless the wind came up,
Uh-huh.
that appears to be the thing that's going to get you back to parallel,
Yeah.
perpendicular,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Look at this
Perpendicular.
dilemma that I've got. So I bought these plants from Costco,
Okay.
okay? And they like shade. And this area over here seems to get a lot of shade. I hate these stones. I hate
Right,
gravel.
right,
You know, it's just
right.
so difficult to work with. Okay?
It is. It can be.
So I removed all of this gravel in anticipation of planting these here.
Okay.
Okay, and I was thinking of planting one centered in each window,
Okay.
and I think that would be a real nice look out the window.
I
Okay,
agree.
but interestingly enough, there's a sprinkler here, a drip system, but I have no clue how to turn that on. You over there in the valve box, you got 2 valves, but those valves contain or control the sprinkler here and the sprinkler there.
Is it a chance that this is all tied to the drip?
You
up
know,
front?
I turned on the drip out front to see if
But
it
this
would come
doesn't
in,
Come on.
but it's not coming on,
I mean,
you know?
how come this is so wet though?
Why is it so wet?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Is that
know. It's
because of
just,
that
well, we
spring?
just had a lot of rain the other day.
No, that's true. We had close to 3
You know?
inches
We had close to 3 inches.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So
unheard of.
Yeah, so anyway, this is where we're at, but you can see over here it's a little more apparent, you know, where the patches were done.
Not bad though.
But I think those are going to come in nice, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And then you just look down on this lawn and it looks nice.
Looks really good.
Except I have...
So, I mean, you should have a before and after when you first started.
Oh, I
this
do.
project.
I do. I got drone footage and everything. You know? But no, look at the, you know, I got to deal with the pine cones from the neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a small price to pay for having this beautiful backdrop.
Beautiful backdrop and beautiful backyard.
You know? Now all I need is a dog. Right?
And then you'll have all the doggy spots again.
And then I'll have all the doggy spots
Of course,
again.
if you get a male,
Uh-huh.
he's probably just gonna wee on things like the corner of your
Yeah.
garden box.
But look at the garden. Doesn't the garden look nice?
Looks wonderful. Now,
know?
is this, or do you hand water all this?
I've been hand watering it. I'm going to try to tap into the irrigation line, which is over here,
Okay.
and run and put a manifold over here. Okay?
Okay.
That's my ultimate objective. Now the strawberries that you gave me,
Right.
these are the strawberries here. Okay?
Okay.
Those are the strawberries you gave me. Those are the ones I bought from Edwards.
Okay.
Okay?
And these were more mature.
Well,
and
those
these
were these were just
root.
bare root. Yeah. And then, you know, over here, so look at this. Maybe you would know this. So here are my potatoes. Okay.
All right.
People say you're supposed to mound, like build a mound around them. Should I be doing that right now? Should I be building a mound around this?
Yeah. Because the more vertical you can go with them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've seen people take tires,
Yeah.
just regular tires, and putting tires around potatoes
Uh-huh.
and just adding layers and layers of
So I could take like a
tires.
5-gallon bucket, for example, cut out the bottom, put it over the top, and just kind of mound it up.
You could.
So, all right,
But
sounds
yeah, because what'll happen is these will become roots,
uh-huh.
the root system, and then they'll put on additional potatoes.
Fantastic.
as
How'd you get so smart?
I'm
Huh?
just much older than you are.
You look like you need a beer.
I could use a beer.
You need a beer? Okay, let's
Absolutely.
let's go get a beer. All right, so the master gardener herself has joined us, and we're going to walk the property. And as I was telling her, I just want her, as she's able to identify the plants and any consideration insofar as taking care of them. For example, I would look at this tree and I see all this stuff sprouting from the bottom, and I don't know what to do about that. You know, do I cut it? Do I dig it out and plant other little trees? You know, that kind of stuff.
Well, you can't dig it out because it's all attached to the root system, so you have to cut them off.
Okay,
Those are called suckers.
they're called suckers, and just
And
cut them off and they
Just
keep
cut 'em
coming
off.
back?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
You can get a product called Sucker Stop and put that on every year and try to slow them down.
Okay,
But they're coming from the root system. This tree's been grafted, and so it's coming off of the root system, which is a different plant than what you have up above. So you have a Canada chokecherry.
this is called the Canada chokecherry.
Mhm.
Is it going to produce fruit?
And you can see what it's producing. It's not anything you're going to probably eat on.
No. Okay.
See some there, but
So it's grown as ornament.
Okay. It's going to flower then, I'm assuming.
It already
right?
did.
it already did.
It already did flower. And the leaves, you know, I see green leaves and then the
It starts
burgundy.
green and turns burgundy.
Okay.
So that's what its claim to fame is, if you will.
Okay. Is this something I would normally come in and trim, you know, or anything
Not unless
like
it
that?
needs it.
Not unless it needs it.
Yep.
Okay. When you look at a tree like this, how do you tell, or a tree like this or any tree, how do you know if it's healthy or not?
You look at the leaves, and the leaves are looking healthy.
Okay.
You don't see any insects on them. You don't see any disease. The tree itself has lots of leaves. It doesn't have branches that are bare.
Uh-huh. Okay. And should this be like, should I be like out watering this? You know, do I bring my garden hose out and water this kind of stuff? Or
You're going to irrigate at least once a week on these plants.
irrigate once a week, which means coming out and just basically take the hose? And
No, I would have a, you don't have a sprinkler system here?
I don't know. I'm still working through
I would
that.
think you probably do somewhere.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
Okay, but I'd have to find that out. What are these plants called?
Those are called boxwood.
Boxwood. Okay. And anything that I need to know about those?
You just trim them in whatever shape you want. Usually they're trimmed into little ball shapes, or they're
Okay.
left natural.
Okay. Will it's ball shapes like right at the surface, or do they grow up and then?
Depending on the variety they are, which I'm not sure. If it's Little Gem, which is a shorter growing one than another type, but you just trim off the edges, if you will, and just round it over a little bit.
Can I be doing that now, or do
Yes.
you only do that in the spring?
You could do it now.
I could do that now.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still spring. It hasn't
All
turned
right.
summer yet.
As I look at this here, I see a lot of these. Okay. And obviously this is a grass.
It's called Carl Forster feather reed grass.
Carl Forster
Feather reed grass.
feather reed grass. And is this a plant that's like native to this part of the nation, or what have you? It's a nice looking plant.
It's not native, but it's a very widely used ornamental grass.
Does this take a lot of water? Require a lot of water?
They all take about medium amount of water. You're going to be, when you water, you want to water at least 12 inches into the ground, no matter what your plant is. And
12
so-
inches into the ground.
10 to 12 inches. And if you did that once a week, your plants would be just fine. Mostly what people do is they have sprinkler systems and they end up watering maybe twice a week, possibly 3 times a week, which, you know, it depends how much water you're putting down. But the idea is if you water nice and deep and you water a lot, you don't have to do it frequently.
Okay, and that same principle applies to your lawn, correct?
All of it. All of it.
All of it. Now, how do you know how far down you're watering without
You take
digging
a
up the
shovel.
soil?
You take a shovel and check it. Or else you take a soil probe and check it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're not going to do that every time. You're just
No,
going
you
to...
do it once a month, and you find out how long it takes your sprinkler system to wet up to about 10 to 12 inches. However long that
Interesting.
takes. Yeah.
Interesting. Did you know that, Ron? You did?
Much,
And do
yeah.
you measure that yourself?
I just try to watch the plants and make sure they don't look like they're struggling. And if they're struggling, then I would check to see how wet the ground is, how deep the moisture is, etc.
This guy's property could be on Better Homes and Gardens.
Cool.
It could be a cover for like Sunset Illustrator, Sunset Magazine. It's spectacular. Really, really spectacular.
Thank you very much.
All right, so
Yeah.
Susan, my latest project, this was all gravel, and it had some boxwood. It had some boxwood here, and you know, some of the lavender and whatever that other plant is there that we'll talk about in a moment. But I spent the better part of a month getting rid of the gravel, and then I brought in a mixture of topsoil with fine bark. I rototilled that in, then I brought in compost, and then I brought in a little bit of manure, and I'm trying to decide what to do with this area, and that's,
You need to call in a designer.
yeah, that's beyond the scope of what we're going to talk about. But anyway, so that was that. What this would be a maple right here. That's a maple tree. Okay, same principle. Does this have is this a specific type of a
I
maple?
have no idea. There's
You have no
many,
idea.
many different types of maples.
Emerald
Okay.
Queen or something.
I wonder
no
if this
telling.
maple is the same maple as the one down on the end.
Doesn't.
Hard to say.
Hard to say. When you walk a property such as this, Susan, do you have a sense of, I mean, it's not cheap to landscape a property like this, is it?
No.
To bring in the trees and everything. And I'm assuming the previous owner, he was the first owner, and he did all of this, you know, and then he moved out a year later. interestingly enough. What is this, the same grass that we were just looking at?
No, totally different grass.
What is this here?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
Yeah, not
Okay.
sure what this grass is. Might be a moor grass.
Uh-huh.
M-O-O-R. Hard to say.
Okay. Do you know what this is?
It looks like it might be a Weigelia. It's hard to say.
How would
Doesn't
you
have any
spell
flowers
that?
on that. Weigelia. Weigelia.
Oh, okay.
But you could check it out and see when it flowers what you have there.
And that looks like the same plant
Could be.
over there. And this, do you recognize this tree?
Looks like a blue atlas cedar.
Yep.
A what?
Blue atlas cedar.
A blue atlas cedar. My hearing isn't as good as it used to be, so bear with me for if you'd be so kind. Blue atlas cedar. Is this going to grow really tall?
It already is. Yeah, it is pretty tall already.
Is it going to
will.
continue growing?
It will.
It will. Okay. And okay, so the watering, and then coming down here, I think this tree actually is labeled, if I'm not mistaken.
People put a lot of red maples in, so there could be one of the red maples.
This tree is a it is a autumn blaze.
Red maple.
It's yeah, it's a Acer free. It's a autumn blaze maple, is what this tree is. And then what are these?
Those are called Diablo 9 bark.
Diablo 9 bark. Okay. Do people shape these?
They can.
They can. Okay. So as something like this is growing, if I wanted to shape this, what am I going to be doing? Like cutting off like these in the hopes of getting it like more?
It'll never be like your boxwoods, so you can't shear it into a little round ball or anything. It's going to make it look nice. But you can choose to trim back some of the uprights that are growing there, or you can take some of the
Or if you don't like the lateral stuff like this, you could take that.
you
So
could
kinda-
trim it back.
So
And
kind of cut
encourage
back the
more upright, rather
more
than-
upright growth. Okay. And I see a lot of these.
That's ivory halo dogwood.
Ivory halo dogwood. Okay. And people, I've seen people really do nice shapes with these.
You
Okay.
can trim this any way you want.
Trim it any way I want.
Yep.
Is this what's considered is this a drought resistant landscape?
No,
It's not.
no, it's not.
Okay.
Not if you have maple trees.
Not if I have maple trees. Okay.
Yeah, these plants are not drought tolerant.
And you know what I'm thinking of doing, which I would be really curious to know your idea. This fence right here, I'm thinking of moving this fence up to the corner right here, and opening up all this to the backyard.
Give you more backyard.
Give me more backyard, but I was thinking of putting in some fruit trees.
Sure, why not?
You know, I mean, I would be able to grow fruit here, would I not?
Oh, sure.
And then these, what do we have here?
It looks like it's a
Lilac?
It looks like a lilac, a standard lilac.
Okay. And I could trim this now also?
Yeah, it's the best time to trim it is right after it finishes flowering.
Really? And I would just come in and just kind of shape it into a ball.
If you want a ball shape.
If I want a ball shape. Okay. And you know what? I did a silly thing. I was washing or power washing or something, and I accidentally flattened these. Are these gonna? What are these? What are these plants here? The bees love them.
They're called salvia.
So how do you spell that?
S-A-L-V-I-A.
Salvia. Okay. And I guess they'll just come back up, right?
Yeah, they come from the middle.
They'll grow from the middle.
Yeah, they're not gonna raise up what's laying down.
They're not.
No.
Okay. And it's not really necessary at this time to trim what's laying down.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it just the way it is.
Just enjoy the flowers.
Just enjoy, well, like the bees. Like the bees do. Do you have a large property?
Yeah, 5 acres.
You have 5 acres. Wow. Do you like my garden?
Sure.
I just built this. I'm building it, I should say. And I've got a variety of different things that are growing here.
The only problem that you'll have is that you don't have much space in between these beds.
Yes.
So as plants start to grow and fall over the sides, it's going to be harder to walk in between.
Okay. All right.
So
Well, a lot of these are going to grow upright. These tomatoes and beans, and in here tomatoes and peas and beans, those are going to grow upright. I'm building a trellis.
That's the plan, anyway.
That's the plan, sure. And then over here I've got you know, my squash and melon, which will grow hopefully down over this way. And then I was just asking Ron about, these are my potatoes. Do you grow any potatoes?
I do.
You do?
I think you have to if you live in Idaho.
So should I be building up dirt or soil around this?
You don't have to. It's usually when we put soil around it, it's because the potatoes start to show, and we try to cover up any potatoes that start showing on the surface.
Okay, so that's what I should be looking for. Potatoes.
If you see anything starting to come to the surface, that's when we cover that
That's
up.
when you cover that up.
And I've seen
Okay.
them where they've taken tires and going layers and layers of tires
Mhm.
if you really wanted to increase your yield. But
No.
Well, the potatoes come out the sides, so they're not growing off the roots.
Uh-huh.
They have a root system, and then they put out side shoots, and
Okay.
those side shoots are what make the potatoes, and so they're fairly close to the surface. That's why people end up having to put a little more soil on top.
Wonderful. Now I would be impressed if you knew what this is. Do you know what this is? I do.
It looks like Rosa Sharon.
Yes! You got it! You got
Yay,
it!
I get a
You
star.
really are a master gardener. That is a Rose of Sharon. And one thing I can't figure out is why this thing is growing so well, but you come over here and this one seems to be half the growth.
Well, we did have a strange winter, so I just cut out all the dead brown that you have there.
Oh, you would cut this,
I would
all of this?
Oh, I'd cut it back. Cut it back to where there's green coming off it.
Interesting. You see why I pay you the big bucks? That's why I had you come over here, because you can point this kind of stuff out. This tree here is an what is it? It's a it's Amelanchier, Amelanchier. Have you heard of that plant before? Amelanchier.
A Mollinger.
It's a beautiful tree. I guess this is the tree. Is it a tree or a bush?
Well, it's trying to be a tree. Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yes. A Melanchier.
A Melanchier?
A Melanchier.
What, if anything, should I know or could I know about this?
It has edible fruit on it.
It does. This is edible fruit.
Yeah, once it finally gets its full color and size.
Such as this?
Oh, well, that's not right yet. They usually turn dark in color.
No kidding. Are the birds going to eat this?
Yeah, they will.
Oh, they will, huh? I'll need to get a scarecrow. You know, or just, you know, have Ron come over here and just stand guard.
I see a cornice coming up.
Now these trees here is the same as that tree over there beyond on the other side of the fence?
Yes.
Beautiful tree, isn't it? Won't this look nice at Christmas time? All
Should.
decorated?
Yeah.
You know, I'll have to get Ron help me put a star up on top of each of them, you know, or something along those lines. But, okay, there's that. And then, let's see, what else do I have here? And back there is a, this tree back here.
It's a river birch.
It's a river birch? Is that going to get tall?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get real tall. All right. Wonderful. And this is a mulberry? It was putting out berries the other day. So I came in, Susan, this was just all hanging over my garden. And I just got up there with some shears and a cut. That's not going to hurt it too much, is it?
No. It'd be better if you would have cut to a side branch, but...
What do you mean by a side branch?
Well, let's look here on this tomato, because it's the same as on a tree.
Okay.
And so if you're going to take something off, this is a side branch, this is a side branch. Both of these are side branches. You could cut here and cut to a side branch. Or cut here, this is a side branch. So on a tree, you're doing the same thing as you cut to a side branch.
You cut to a side
So
branch.
you don't just cut any over.
Okay. Wonderful. Huh? It's slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. And then just over here, I'm actually almost out of battery here. It's been a struggle with this lawn. The previous owner had 2 mountain dogs, and I had nothing but brown spots everywhere. And I took the sod cutter, cut up the sod from the garden area, and brought it over and did patching. I dug 6 inches down, took out the bad soil, filled it. Okay. What are we? So here we have roses. You know, it's interesting. A lot of these are lying close to the ground. Okay. But then you got this branch that's just coming up. What kind of roses are these?
And they look like a ground cover rose.
Okay.
They actually do lay on the ground. This one just has a little sport coming up that's going straight. If you don't like it, you can, yeah. They have ups and some that are laying down at the same time.
Interesting.
Be like knockout or not?
But they sure are
They
pretty.
look like they could be a knockout rose. Yeah.
They sure are pretty. And then over here, do you have any idea what these plants are? These 2, 3?
The green ones.
Yeah.
These are butterfly bush.
It's a butterfly bush? And do they call it that because it attracts butterflies?
Yes, it has really beautiful scented flowers.
Really? Wonderful. Okay. And then last but not least, I don't get a lot of sun over here. Okay. So what I was thinking of was I'm gonna try to get rid of this gravel and do the same thing I did to the front. Okay, putting in a nice bed. It may not be this year, it may be next year, but I bought these plants right here, which are supposed to like shade. And these are Japanese Pyrrhus. So I was going to put these